Caitlin.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, creepy people.
Hello.
If you're new to our creepy corner of the world, this is PNW Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, the paranormal, and all things spooky in the Pacific Northwest.
The PNW, if you're nasty.
We're so nasty.
we are that.
You know what else is nasty?
What?
Doing tarot readings.
Oh, right.
I mean, some people think. And we just happen to do those in every episode for a little deeper insight into our topic.
Yeah. Until that's made a federal crime.
Which,
the way things are going. Anywho.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep the good energy going with this episode, but the world's crazy right now. And yeah, we found out some fun things today, so we're here.
Indeed. I'm hoping that's something stronger than coffee.
It is a watermelon white claw.
Ooh. I took your advice and I got a brown sugar cortato this morning.
Oh my God, did you love it?
Oh, so good.
It is
good.
Absolutely addicting, and I hate that I'm addicted to it.
It's life-altering. I feel as though it's the only thing keeping me sane. I mean, well, and this.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm using a coffee mug because I'm classy and classy Cassie. My mom got me this for Christmas. I thought it was really cool looking.
I have a little hand mirror that has that same exact
it's very
pattern.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
It's like gold and I don't know
Art
what the
Deco.
style is. Art Deco.
Mm-hmm.
Down in the bottom, it's kind of cool because when you put something clear in it, it kind of looks like a swimming pool because there's that little pattern down at the bottom of the cup.
Oh, I love that.
So it just looks like a really cool, like a McMinimans like pool or something.
Yes.
Like maybe classier than that, but.
I don't know. Those are pretty classy. The soaking pools.
Yeah. Ooh.
Pretty classy. Oh, God. Can we schedule another soak trip?
Yes.
Like
I want to go to the
yesterday?
Edgefield one. I just saw a reel of the Edgefield one. It looks so cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I think that's an outside one though. So maybe, not when it's freezing.
Let's do it this summer.
Yeah. I also have something cool to show you that my aunt got me for Christmas. Well, I guess technically kind of us.
Ooh.
She put our little faces and logo on a wine bottle. It's just so cute. Isn't that adorable?
That's amazing.
It's not just like a sticker on here, like the whole label.
That is so cool.
Is the thing. And so they've got partially the actual wine label and then your photo on it. So we do have some Patreon shout outs.
I was going to say that right before. Yeah, we do.
We have 3 of the Creepy People tier, which is the $1 tier.
Ooh.
We have, I'm sorry, 4. We have 4. We have
4?
Jan. I know. We have Jan, Anne Marie, Patience, and Marie. And Marie. Not Anne Marie. We have an Anne Marie and a Marie.
And.
And. Panned?
Panned?
Yeah. The N is
like
silent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jan, I mean, did you join in January? Let's check. I'm very curious. No, it was December, but close enough.
Close enough? Close enough?
Close enough. You know what? We're counting it. And then I know we talked about Patience kind of got a little too shout outer because we talked about them because we were we were doing a tarot reading that just kept saying patience.
Yes, that's right. I totally forgot about that, but you're right. Yeah, she got a pre shout out.
Yeah.
And then Marie, smarty pants that she is, I don't know if, and I'm assuming gender here, so oopsies, but smarty pants that they are signed up in, like, the last 24 hours, which is that's how you get your shout out sooner. You subscribe on
Right.
a Friday or, like, bright and early Saturday morning, and then it's more likely that we're gonna put your name in for the shout out as we record on Saturday.
Right,
So,
that's true. Well,
kudos.
insider tip.
Ooh,
Well, should we get into this episode that I have for you?
I guess so?
Might be a spooky one, we don't know yet.
Okay. I really like my newly developed, like, how many scoots system.
Mm,
I think that came about just pretty recently. Like,
yeah.
how many legs do I need to have up in the chair? So, like, do you wanna give it a rating or
This one might be like a 2 or 3 scooter.
okay. I
So,
f
I mean, I'm not sure we haven't established the highest ranking yet, but I feel like we don't need to yet until we get there. But I'm
okay.
gonna call this a 2 or 3, so, like, pretty mild, pretty mild.
Oh, okay, we're calling 2 or 3 pretty mild because I feel like
Yeah,
last time you said, like, one and a
it was a
half.
1. No, it was like a 1.
1. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you did a 1 scoot, so
'Kay. I feel like today already feels like a 3 scoot just before you even start,
yeah.
so alright,
Alright, well, let's get going.
alright.
Today we're talking about Nevada City, California. So it's a little bit of a trickaroo there.
Yeah, that's not confusing at all.
You're like, "Nevada? That's not
Nevada?
PNW."
Not I mean, we'll take her.
But it is in Northern California, so technically it is Pacific Northwest, we think. It's about an hour northeast of Sacramento. It's in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. And did
Hmm.
you know that Nevada means snow covered in Spanish?
Really?
Yeah.
That is
Isn't that weird?
y yes, because that's not an association that I make with Nevada,
Not at all. Not at all. But like
particularly.
it does make sense with this because Sierra Nevada means like snow covered mountain range.
Okay.
So they just named the state Nevada wrong. That's
Y
all.
yeah, I would say.
The town got its first settlers in 1849
Ooh.
and many, many more after that because it was the gold rush days. So
Ah,
everyone was
yes.
rushing to the west.
Panning for gold.
Some even got there via the same pass as the Donner Party.
Oh, no.
So, like, it was not easy to get there, you know?
I'm scooting. I'm scooting.
I'm not gonna talk any more about that because that's like I feel that for some reason, it makes me so sad, and they were like they had some
'Cause it's
pictures.
yeah.
It's so awful, and even just, like, I had never seen really pictures of the Donner Pass, and, like,
Uh-huh.
I had come across them, and I just, like, looked at it and just got, like, so sad.
Well,
Just, like,
yeah.
I just, like, felt it, and I was like, "How awful." Like, I
I
can't.
mean, yeah, there's not a lot of things that you can imagine that are worse than
Yeah.
some of that. Anyways, moving on.
I got really cold. I might need to grab a blankie.
Your little ghosties.
My ghosties. Appropriate, appropriate.
Cute,
Okay. Enough
cute.
enough of that really sad stuff.
Okay.
So even though it was, like, kind of hard to get there, everyone had to kind of migrate, immigrate, travel really, really far. It was
Yeah.
the best mining town in California, so everyone wanted to be
Oh,
there.
I feel like that's saying something at that point.
Yeah, right? Because there was a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think really all throughout the Pacific Northwest. California
Yeah.
was definitely like the hotbed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I came across an interesting tidbit, and this is the one I was kind of, like, hinting at to you with our conversation pre-recording.
Ooh.
Um, Northern California had a foreign miners tax. And this was because a lot of Chinese and Hispanic people were coming to look for gold as well. And so all the white
Oh.
people were like, "Hey, that's not fair. That's our gold. We stole this land."
Yeah. Yeah, go steal your own.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like,
Alrighty.
let's just tax the shit out of them. And originally it was $20 a month, which is like absolutely insane for back then. It was
Yeah.
$809 now.
Wow.
They did later very kindly lower it to about $3 to $4, which is still
That's a lot.
121 to $161 now.
Well, and I'm assuming that because it's like a monthly tax, I'm assuming that that means we're not basing that on whether or not you're actually successfully mining
Right.
any gold. So it's like you're paying that regardless. So
Mhm.
that just feels particularly punitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, like, just icky, and I
Yeah.
wanted to point it out, but I feel like if anything, why wouldn't they just, like, take a percentage of it? But
I
I
mean,
think they just wanted to discourage that many people coming.
yeah, that's true because I feel like the percentage may have been the thing that paid better in the long run. But it would if you take, like, a monthly fee on the front end, that discourages people from even getting established.
Yeah.
So you have to
Ugh,
look I think you do have to kind of look at, like, what was the motivation behind it, and it makes sense, I
yeah.
think. But
Yeah, and then, like, what did they have to do to get the money to even start? Like, that's so much money.
exactly. Yeah, the
And to have
startup
to, like,
cost.
pay for room and board and food
Mhm. Cost
and
of
you're in
entry.
a new town. Like, it's just so fucked up. It's
Yeah.
so fucked up. So, I just had to start off this episode right. So this, like I said, was a very important town, and it needed a very important place for its very important people to stay.
Hmm.
So first, we're visiting the National Exchange Hotel, which I think some people just call it the National Hotel.
It just seems like an odd name.
Yeah, like the National Exchange, like it sounds
Yeah.
like a trading post.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think when it first opened, it kinda did do a lot of stuff, like, I think they said it had a post office and stuff in it. So maybe it was more of like a hub for a bunch of different things, not just a hotel. So,
I
that
mean,
kinda makes sense.
maybe that makes more sense then.
And it's like the 1800s, I don't know, they said weird shit back then.
All kinds of weird stuff. Hmm,
So, it opened in 1856, and the hotel is still open now. It's a
hmm.
California historical landmark and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. How many times have I said that?
I I don't know. You know, if I had a nickel,
Yeah, and it is, like, one of the oldest hotels in California, if not the oldest. I think some places
I
said it
would
was
think.
the oldest.
Yeah.
Like, one of the articles said it was, like, the oldest on this side of the Mississippi.
Oh, I love it when we get to say things are something on either side of the Mississippi.
Right? Isn't that funny?
Oh, I love that. I don't know why that it really jazzes me up.
MIS. But then you always say 3 S's because it sounds better.
Yeah.
I
I
always would
always
say
say
MISSISSIVBI.
that's a lot of extra letters.
It's only an extra S in there.
I think that's 2 extra S's.
ISSSI. Oh, it is 4, you're right. So it's really cute on the front of their website. It says, "Last night I dreamt I was at the National Hotel."
Oh, that is
Isn't that
cute.
so cute? I was like, "Okay, I wanna stay here just because of that little quote on their website."
Aw.
It's been renovated several times. It's really old. And they found, like, beautiful rooms that had been boarded off for some reason, which is always really creepy when rooms are just boarded off,
Yeah, I don't care for that. I feel like
even
that's
if
the
it's
no.
yeah. I feel like even if it's not for, like, a specific reason, like, maybe they just weren't using it or whatever, but I feel like energy just, like, gets trapped in there and just sits
Yeah.
in there, and it gets weird. I don't know.
Okay, first of all, I don't buy that a particular room of a hotel is just getting boarded up for
For no
no
reason.
particular
Yeah.
reason. Like, no.
Like, they
No.
did a lot of like, a lot of different renovations
Renter,
on it.
renter, renter, renter.
Renovations? They did a lot of different renovations on it, so I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't find anything that
Hmm.
explained, but it's just creepy, and I wanted to point that out.
That is creepy.
Yeah, because I think they said one of them was, like, one of the balcony rooms or, like, room with a veranda. What's a veranda? That's like a
That's
balcony,
it,
right?
it yeah, it's like a bigger balcony typically.
Yeah, so, like, why would you board that off? Did someone
That's you know why. You know why.
Ugh! But now nowadays but now, after the most recent renovation, quote, "The property now provides guests with a luxurious stay that combines contemporary comfort with Victorian charm." That's a quote from
Oh,
the site.
yes, please.
Yeah, this definitely Victorian era, so that you're gonna
Mm.
hear me say Victorian era a lot, and, now I know what that means, so it actually, like, means something to me.
Yes. I'm all about that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm. Hmm.
So the people staying at this hotel were businessmen, mine owners, and, like, casually President Herbert Hoover.
Hoodover? Who? What?
Herbert Hoover.
Herber?
Is he a bad one?
I don't think he's one that's associated typically with, like, anything too nar.
I don't know. A president stayed there, so, like, obviously it was a big deal, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, if you look hard enough, any one of our presidents, you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
find yeah. I mean, he's just
Totally.
obviously, like, there's the Hoover Dam, so there's an association there with, like, job creation and, of
Oh, yeah.
course, that on the
He did the
surface
damn
is
thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, job creation as a president, typically, like, that does well with voters
Yeah.
but
Well,
beyond that
speaking of job creation, it's interesting you mentioned that because they even think this is where talks of the PG&E were started
really?
in room 314. So they have, like,
Hmm,
even a specific room number, and that is, of course, the Pacific Gas and Electric Company serving millions
mhm.
of Northern Californians. So very important stuff. Lots of
Yeah,
job creation.
definitely, definitely, and, maybe creating some other things.
What bad things? Explosions?
Explosions, fires, uh, you know.
But, electricity, right?
Yes, yes.
But electricity.
But electricity,
At what cost?
just forest fires.
Ugh, yeah. Well, thank the National Hotel for that. No. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my
It's
god.
not their fault that these, businessmen who were into, like, that kind of business met there, so in that same room, 314, a guest woke up in the middle of the night and saw some business-looking men of that era, like
Hmm.
that late 1800s, smoking cigars, and they looked like they were talking excitedly about something. So, possibly having a meeting, possibly just some locker room talk.
Oh
We don't
boy.
know.
Yeah. Well,
But how creepy. It was happening in her room. If I just woke up to see a bunch of men in my room, I'd be freaked out.
yeah, and anything that is described as, like, locker room talk,
I
no
mean, no
thanks.
one's no one said that. I was just, like, assuming
You're at
'cause talking excitedly about something, that doesn't mean it was something good, you know?
Yeah, not necessarily.
But the fact that they did have, like, these kind of business meetings in that room, so maybe they left their impression of their, exciting new business venture.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought.
There is a white lady. Ah!
Of course.
Do you remember that? That's my favorite joke. I think you did it. I was like,
What?
"There was a white lady," and you were like, "Ah!" So now every time I hear that, I'm like, "Ah!"
I
But
think
of course
it's important to distinguish
Yeah.
between white lady and lady in white.
Right, but they do frequently call, like, a lady in white just they refer to it as a white lady, so I just think it's so funny, I love to make that joke.
Like, listen, these can mean a lot of different things. This can be like a frequent reoccurring haunt. This could be a Karen. This could be a bride. It could be a combination of all 3.
So this scary Karen was no, I'm just so anyway, this lady in white, she roams the halls in that classic Victorian hairstyle with the classic
Ooh.
Victorian dress, but her dress has a yellow sash, which I think is, like, a really cute detail.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes me think sometimes we think of white ladies and we think, "Oh, they're like a ghost," so, like, they're just all white and, like, see-through,
Right, right.
and not just, like, specifically wearing a white dress, but I think this is, like, a person just wearing a like, an actual white dress with a yellow sash because the sash is
Oh.
yellow, so, I don't know. There's some little pop of color in there.
I was just gonna say, little dash of color.
Hopefully, it was, like, a nice, like, soft yellow and not, like, a piss yellow, you know?
Oh, could
Or
be
like
like
that,
a
like, 70s yellow.
Oh, I was literally just gonna say, what if it's like a really pretty, like, kind of a like a goldenrod slash mustard?
Ooh.
I have a
Oh.
really pretty dress, and listen, it's not for everyone, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't fit currently, but
I
it's
thought you were
like
gonna say it doesn't matter because it's not for you.
yeah. Well, also that. It turns out it's also not for me because it doesn't fit right now. It's a little tight through the boobages. Um, but it's like a really pretty, like, mustardy goldenrod color, and I can picture, like, a ribbon around, like, a white dress that would be pretty.
Yeah. Aw.
Mm.
We need pictures of this.
Okay. Maybe.
Let's go
Maybe
take
just
pictures of this ghost.
oh, yes. That's gr I thought you meant we need a picture of me in the dress, and
Oh.
I was like,
Only
maybe
when you're
of
comfortable.
maybe of the dress?
Put Chris in the dress.
Oh, I feel like it's not a great color for him, but
We were just saying how his boobs aren't as big as yours, so they would
it's
totally fit.
it would totally fit, yeah. I mean, never mind his height or anything else.
It would be like a tube top on it. Oh, man. I'm just getting the weirdest visual right now, and I'm trying to not.
Ah,
But
okay.
besides her yellow sash, people also smell her perfume, which I
Ooh.
love when there's, like, a smell in the haunting.
I'm realizing now I don't know if I sprayed my perfume this morning.
Oh.
I usually put it, like, some in my hair, so I
You have
stink
to
good.
you have to remember that for when you're a ghost. Make sure to bring your perfume.
I know, god.
One article too called it cheap perfume, and I'm like,
Oh,
"That's rude. Why would this
yeah.
fancy lady, Victorian era lady wear cheap perfume?" It didn't make sense to me.
Also, wasn't everything that wasn't literally just a bare essential, like, expensive back then? So
Right?
it's like, define cheap perfume.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe nowadays it would be considered, like, something cheaper smelling because like, they have so many different scents now that are just all crazy, but I don't know, I feel like too sometimes people describe it as cheap if they just don't like the smell of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't mean it's cheap, bitch."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that just because you don't like something that that means you need to assign a specific monetary value to it.
Yeah. Like, I've had perfume that is not expensive but smells good,
Yeah,
and not all expensive perfume smells good to
I
me.
know.
For some reason, a lot of people have left rooms 208 and 209 in the middle of the night, and I
Uh,
guess this is, like, their presidential suites, so I imagine it's, like, not cheap. So to be leaving in the middle of the night, like,
something's going down.
something's going down, and I couldn't find anything that specifically was saying what was happening, but I know there were a ton of renovations in those rooms specifically. They did mention that, so maybe it was just something was
Mm,
not happy with all of the change. I don't know.
that would make sense. I feel like maybe you should go and stay there and just see what happens, you know?
I would love to.
Okay.
I would love to.
Write to me.
National Hotel, invite me to stay, and I will stay and, not pay you because 'cause it'll be comped, and,
Of course. Of course. Of course.
so I can't afford that. You're also gonna have to pay for my travel, to get there because
I
I
mean,
can't afford that either.
of course. Of course.
There is another spirit here that kinda sounds like a child to me. Oh, I did find something later that does say it's a child, but, like, this specific article I was reading doesn't say it's a child, but I'm gonna read you what they do, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's for sure a kid." But it's, like,
Oh.
kinda weird because they don't specifically say it at first, so I'm, like, kinda picturing an adult. It's funny.
Oh,
Okay.
that's I don't know which is worse.
It would be creepier as an adult. So, her name is Elizabeth, and people will see her playing with a ball or a jump rope or riding her little tricycle.
Okay, yeah, I take it back. It's way worse as an adult.
Because I see, like, an adult on a kid-sized tricycle and, like, the spider knees going up and down.
Unless it's somebody like my size and they can actually ride the tricycle comfortably.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's just a Caitlin-sized adult playing
I
with a
don't
little ball and a jump rope and riding a little tricycle.
Oh my god. I don't even think I can ride a tricycle comfortably, so
Yeah, I haven't tried in a while.
yeah.
Like, I was a nanny, so that's not weird for me to have tried to ride a tricycle, like, in my adult life, but it's been a minute.
Immediately defensive. Take note. Take note.
Also, part of her legend is that she had passed in room 411 of the mumps.
411.
Room
Interesting.
411. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how many honestly, okay, this is probably bad. I forgot to look up, like, how many stories and rooms this had, but I'm not about to go do it
Oh,
right now. But
okay.
it's a pretty big hotel.
Yeah. I am just noting that 411 because I don't know, maybe people don't say this very much anymore, but you've heard the phrase, "Give me, like, the 411."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The 411 is that she passed in
Oh,
room
no.
411.
I don't like it.
I know it's really sad for me too, because like, a kid, like, passing in a hotel, that just seems, like, extra sad to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true. It's all, like, a legend, so I really don't know if this
Yeah.
actually happened. But
Hmm.
obviously, I don't think they were vaccinating back then for the mumps.
In the
I don't know when the
1800s?
yeah, I was like, I don't know when the
Yeah.
vaccines came around, but I can imagine that not that far back.
No.
So she's seen all over the hotel and even in the hotel's restaurant, which is named Lola.
Ooh.
And this is actually after someone very specific. The restaurant is named after Lola Montez, who was a self proclaimed Spanish dancer.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it Lola? She was a showgirl, right? No?
Is that song named? I don't know if
I have
that
no
song is about
idea.
her. Well, let me go on with this and then we can like
Okay.
decide if we think that song is about her or not.
Okay.
But she was a self-proclaimed Spanish dancer because she was born in Ireland as Eliza Gilbert. I think
And
her name was Elizabeth, or I don't know if it was just Eliza or Elizabeth. I'm not really sure.
yeah, that's interesting.
I do remember coming across an article that referred to her as Elizabeth, but I don't know.
Hmm.
This one says she was born as Eliza Gilbert, so I don't know. One of
Maybe
those,
I mean, maybe she just went by Eliza. Maybe her,
maybe.
her given name was Elizabeth.
But it definitely was not Lola Montez.
Yeah, definitely sounds like not that.
She had a long and interesting life, in between being born and, the time that she made it over to California. But by that time, she was known as La Lola, the Spanish dancer, and
Okay.
she was known for doing You're gonna fucking hate this. I'm sorry. I forgot about this part, and now I'm like, "Wait, this might be like a 5 scooter."
Great. I literally can't wait. I literally can't wait. I'm so excited.
Um, so she was known for doing her spider dance. She would basically act like spiders were crawling up her legs, and she would, like, stomp and, like, fling her skirts around, like, trying to get them off of her, but, like, in a
Oh.
dancey way.
Oh, like Emma Stone in the yeah, she does like a spidery looking dance. Oh, fuck, what is that?
Is
Oh my
that
god.
the newer movie that
Yes.
she's in, the weird one? Yeah.
Yes.
I
That's what
don't
I
remember that
picture.
part, but oh
That's
my
what I picture.
gosh. Now I wanna go watch that.
I really wanna watch that too.
So she would do this dance to Italian folk music called tarantella,
Oh,
and it's, like, literally what you think of when you think of Italian music, okay? Let me send this to you.
okay.
It's like you think of, like, an accordion.
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
picturing an accordion, but also at the same time, it's sort of giving me like it's almost got like a Von Trapp meets like conquistador isn't quite the right word, but they've got like the red skirt. Like
Yeah.
who's the guy that tries to get the bowls to
I don't
charge?
know.
Oh, Matador.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, once you say
because
it, I'm like, "Oh, yeah,
yeah,
duh."
it looks like a costume. All of these dancers in
Mm,
this, like,
mhm.
example song that you sent, they look like they're wearing, like, a Swedish maid, like a milkmaid type outfit, but the skirt is red, like, and it's giving matador.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very culturally confused
Well,
right
I feel like
now.
that, like, this Italian type of music and, like, some Spanish music are very similar.
I would imagine so. There's influence because they're, it's it's kind of
History.
history, but also just proximity.
I'm like, "Are they close? I don't know geography."
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay. There's, like, 1 country in between them.
Yeah, but they're like, I don't know. They're neighbors.
What is that? Oh, that's France in between them. Okay. I did not know that was France.
Yeah. So that's
I'm
why there's a
so
lot
bad at
of
geography. I don't know why it just, like, never I'm working on it, you guys. I'm getting better.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's why there's so much, like, influence between those, like, neighboring countries and, like, each other's culture.
I thought it was interesting too that she calls herself a Spanish dancer and then uses this, like, Italian song, but, like, has,
Mhm.
like, Spanish feel vibe to it. And I
Yeah.
don't know specifically that she was saying, like, this spider dance specifically was Spanish. I
Mm.
just think she really, she kinda dressed like she was kind of, like, cultural appropriating. Like, she
That
kinda,
wasn't
like,
a thing
tried
at
to
that
pass
point.
off with
Yeah.
her name, with, like, her look that she was actually, let me
Was she dressing, like, for, like, flamenca or
I'm gonna show you a photo. I gotta
Oh,
find it's on the hotel's website, and I, like, didn't even
ooh.
think to pull up a photo of her, but now I, like, feel like I have to.
I mean, she could very easily pass as Spanish, French, uh, I mean, a lot of
A lot of
cultural
things, yeah.
identities in that region, I
And
think.
obviously, I don't think she meant it in, like, a malicious way. She just she like I
No.
said, she had a very interesting life. So I feel like she kinda just wanted to, like, reinvent herself, go do something new and fun. So, like,
Mhm.
when I say she was, like, cultural appropriating, like, nowadays, if, like, a white Irish lady were to call herself Lola Montez and dress like Spanish and call herself a Spanish dancer, that would be very, very different.
A little dicey.
But, yeah, back then, you know, it
I mean,
is what it is.
that's why I'm not doing it
Yeah.
personally as a
Or we
white
would be.
Irish. Yeah.
Why do you think I dyed my hair brown?
I'm looking at a picture of her right now that is, like, the very typical, um, it like I think the kids today now would say she's, like, snatched. I'm gonna I'm gonna send it to
She's
the chat
good
so you
looking.
well, and I'm talking very you'll s as soon as you see this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, the waist though. Oh my
Mhm.
god, that's
That's what I'm saying.
insane.
Snatched.
And you know that's not that is all corset, like, that cannot be Photoshop because
Right.
olden
Right.
days. Yeah. But then you scroll down and you kinda see her as, like, when she oh, I love this picture of her, like, with a cigarette, she's kinda, like, leaning on something, it's on the same
Oh,
website you
yeah.
sent me. That looks,
Yeah.
like, very, like, Irish to me, you know?
She does look more Irish there. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, she kind of falls a little bit more into the category that and hopefully this isn't, like, an offensive thing to say anymore. I've never, uh heard that there's, like, a negative association with this particularly, but it's something that, like, I've heard personally because, like, family members of mine, based on, like, how they look, like, they call it dark Irish,
Mm.
where you almost have, like, more of, like, a complexion and, like, the darker hair
Yeah.
color of, like, somebody who almost looks like they're of a Spanish descent.
Right, that makes sense. So anyway, back to, like, the
Mhm.
song and dance thing. Back to the spiders. I
Ah!
'cause, I was like, "I need to know more about this spider thing." So, I was like, "Tarantella? That sounds, like, really close to tarantula. That's weird." And I was like,
God
"Okay,
damn it.
well, wouldn't you know it, it's not that weird." It totally is. It does mean tarantula. And now this dance is kinda seen as a couple's dance, but originally it was known as the dance of the spider, and tarantella comes from an Italian word, tarantola, which is clearly it's tarantula, right?
Oh my god, a couple's dance that's like spiders?
Yeah, it used to be. So there's a really crazy reason
Uh,
this song exists. Um,
Okay.
in southern Italy, people believed there were tarantulas that would cause a person to fall into fits of hysteria if bitten. And it caused a strong urge to dance.
Oh
And
my
I
god.
assume they mean, like, uncontrolled, like, movements. I don't think they were, like,
Yeah.
waltzing or, like, doing, like, TikTok dances.
The foxtrot.
Right. But they thought they could cure this by dancing the tarantella. So they would have this person dance and
Oh.
until they were, like, wildly dancing, and then they would kind of, like, start to follow the beat and, like, the rhythm of the tarantella, and then
Hmm.
eventually they would, like, sweat it out or whatever. And, this to my knowledge, this is something they believed. This is not, like, actually something the that it caused. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Doesn't sound super scientific, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, so but that's what they believed, and that's why the song exists. Okay, so I just have to talk about Miss Lola Montez a little bit longer because I just, like, can't leave her alone. She's so fascinating. She was a spicy lady, and there's, like, 2 more super cool things about her. I literally couldn't help myself. So, she had a lot of pets, and one of them was a bear that she walked on a leash. A bear! I don't know if it was, like, a little cub or,
Oh,
like, an actual bear.
I mean, I have to assume probably not a full-grown bear?
I hope it was, like, a little cute cub. But then, like, what if it grew into, like, a big bear and she still walked it on a leash?
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I have to try not to look at this through, like, a modern lens, I guess, because I don't think that probably a bear wants to be walked on a leash like a dog,
Right.
but
But if you
what do
find him
I
as, like, a
know?
little baby, I don't know. It's not it I'm not saying it's, like, right, but it's so cute and interesting, and we have, like, this weird bear theme running through our episode, so I saw that, and, of course, I was like, "Okay, if anything mentions a bear, like, I gotta mention it." You can't
Always
just
choose the
not.
bear.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's one more thing. There's one more thing about Lola I have to mention. It's, like, the spicy part of her.
Ooh,
So she wrote a couple of things, and I feel like I wanna get this and read it for, like, a Patreon bonus. One of the things she wrote is titled The Arts of Beauty. So it's called The Arts of Beauty, colon, or Secrets of a Lady's Toilet with hints to gentlemen on the art of fascinating.
Oh my god, what?
I know. I have to read
Lola.
this. I really wanna know what this like, I have to. I wanna
Okay.
know her thoughts on I think we can buy it.
Girl, you know I'm gonna. You know I'm gonna.
The Secrets of a Lady's Toilet.
Coming to a Patreon bonus near you.
I'm so excited. I love it. Okay, so we might be hearing more from Lola in the future. Stay
Might be.
tuned.
That sounds pretty non-committal, and I am pretty committed.
Okay, so I made the spider thing better.
Okay, maybe. We'll see.
I knew you would like that. I knew you'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things she wrote too, but that was like the title that just like totally jumped out at me. Okay, we're gonna move on. There's a couple of other buildings in town we need to stop and visit. And the first of those is Firehouse #1, now the Nevada County Historical Society Museum. And it's said to be
Mm.
pretty haunted.
Pretty haunted?
I don't know why I said it like that, but I felt like being annoying, so I did
I mean, 'cause it's fun.
it.
'Cause it's fun.
There's only so many times I can say a place is haunted. I gotta like have some variety in my life. Okay.
It's true. I feel like it's the same reason that I tilt my head like I'm a German shepherd, like,
Mhm. So the firehouse was built in 1861 and it ran for 80 years. It became a museum in 1947.
wow.
So I'm not sure if it sat empty for those 6 years or if they had to like repair some things, remodel, get ready for it to become a museum. I'm not really sure.
I mean, it's an old building, so I would imagine, you know, fair to
Yeah.
say it could be due for some repairs or, bringing it up to code for just like the general public. They're probably trying to like decommission the fire pole so that people aren't trying to
Yeah.
slide down that.
Yeah.
They're like, this is a museum, okay?
Yeah, and I feel like that's a decent time frame to, like, do remodeling and to, like, set up an entire museum where it used to
Yeah.
not be a museum, so, like, I feel
Right.
like yeah, so I feel like that's hopefully it didn't just sit empty and creepy, but I'm gonna send you, like, the Google image search
Ooh.
so you could just, like, kinda see what it looks like, and we're gonna talk about it because it's really cool.
I want to live there.
So it's this white building, and it's described as gingerbread Victorian architecture, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the cutest thing." And I was like, "Is gingerbread architecture, like, a real thing?" And
Yes.
it totally is, I had no idea. So it was a popular thing in this era to decorate homes with elaborate trim like you would, like, kinda decorate with
Yes.
icing a gingerbread house.
Bitch, is that a bell tower?
Yeah. So the building definitely has that decorative trim, and the most stunning thing about it is the
Oh!
bell tower. So I think it's 2 stories, and then it has a bell tower on top.
Oh my god. This picture of it from, like, just down the street, I'm dead.
Yeah. It's
You
so
guys, I'm
cool.
moving to Nevada, California.
Nevada City.
I know, I said Nevada, California. Nevada
The
City. You know
the
what? I'm
only
moving.
she's moving. She's getting out of here. The only thing, like, kind of interesting about it is it's a really small building, and it's kinda smashed in between this row of other mismatched buildings.
Yeah, this looks like it looks it's very confusing because I feel like right next to it, like, you can see there's a Main Street Antiques, which I feel like is found on every main street in every state in the entirety of the United States, and then it's like this looks like almost like an 1860s, like, general store.
Mm,
It
mhm.
just smashed in there
All
between them.
smashed. And they're all,
Smashed.
like it's this white building, so it sticks out like a Thor thumb.
A Thor thumb.
And then the other buildings are, like, blue and, like,
And
brown
red.
and, like, and
Yeah.
red. Yeah, it's weird.
It is beautiful, and I would happily live smashed between the antique and general store.
Mm.
I have a new dream, okay? I feel like this is me, like, Michael Scotting. I'm this has been my dream since lunch.
Well, I might crush your very recent dreams here.
No.
According to one of the past museum directors, hauntings were a very common occurrence in
I
the building,
mean,
like every day.
it wouldn't be the first place I've lived that,
That's true.
you know.
Well, I'll tell you about it and you can decide if you can handle it or not.
Okay.
So people hear footsteps when no one is around, unexplained cold spots, and cabinet doors constantly opening after being closed. But it's not just like slowly creeping open. They were described as flying open.
Oh, I don't love that. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was adjusting my headphones. If you're watching on, like, YouTube or, um, I thought about just taking them off so that you wouldn't ruin this for me. This
You
dream that
bitch.
I've had for, like, 10 minutes.
I'm ruining it all. There's an organ in the museum that is supposedly from a brothel, and people have seen a woman in a Victorian dress with red hair playing it.
Okay.
So she seems pretty cool. She has red hair.
You know, playing the organ, famously the coolest instrument to play.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they have an organ. Like, I feel like those are not very common.
Right, but, like, on top of that, how common is it for an organ to have been present in a
A brothel?
brothel?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Like, did
really
the
don't know.
brothel double as a funeral home?
It's funny because I was thinking the same thing. And
Really?
then another article though also referred to it as just a piano. So I'm like, well, was it a piano or was it an organ? But that article didn't seem like it had legit info in it, so I don't know. So I called it an organ. But it could be maybe we'll have to call the museum because they'll know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so do you have an organ or a piano?
Is there any way that we can text or email them? You know how I feel about making phone calls.
Yeah, I might be able to. Who
Okay.
knows? I like to doing the phone call though for that kind of thing because it's like, well, they have the option to not email you back, but if you're on the phone,
That's
you
true.
know.
Unless they just hang up on you, which I hope they
Yeah.
would never. Listen, they run a museum in a gingerbread house. I would hope they would never
Right.
hang up on anyone.
They probably wouldn't. They would probably love to answer questions. They have a historical museum, so I feel like if anyone's interested in the historical items, they would, like, be down to answer questions, but I don't know, maybe I'll call someday. We'll see, stay tuned.
All right.
So they've also seen this woman with the red hair standing in the second floor window, like, peering out as well.
Oh,
I think people see her from, like, the outside, so, they'll, like, see her up in the window.
yeah.
There is another woman described with the same type of clothing. They don't specifically say she has red hair, but she likes to go through the cabinets, and I also don't know if it's the same one that would make the cabinets fly open.
I
Because if she's,
was
like, going through them and someone closes them, she's like, "Hey, I was going through those. What are you doing?"
I'm in here.
"Busy."
Trying to get supper ready.
Yeah, so also it made me think of, like, this really weird thought, and 'cause
Go
we've
on.
we've heard this a couple of times where I think it was, like, when we stayed at the lighthouse, there was a
Mm,
woman that went through, like, the cabinets and stuff there. I think that was one of the the things
that's
that happened.
that sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
It made me think, like, what if every time we're searching for something, like, a piece of our soul, like, breaks off and just is, like, eternally searching for that thing?
Okay, then how do I have any soul left?
Do
I
you?
mean,
It's like a Horcrux every time, like, a piece of your soul
my
breaks off.
God, you guys, I have no soul left just based on the number of times I couldn't find my keys.
I mean, it makes sense to me. I feel like when I'm looking for something, I'm in a like an altered state, like if I were
Yes.
meditating or something.
Yeah.
So it's
Like
very interesting.
like panic meditating.
Yeah. And feel like I have a lot of dreams too, where you're just like in that state, like where you're like looking like the panic meditation, where you just like
Yes.
feel like you're looking for something that you can't find.
Mhm.
So I feel like what if I'm dreaming about that, but like a piece of my soul is actually still doing that. And then like 100 years from now, someone is going to see me looking for something.
Oh my
What is,
god, I'm gonna
what
be
is
such a
time?
creepy bitch. Can you imagine the number of places that my ADHD ass has just been like,
Yeah.
"It's fine." Uh.
It also makes me think of too, like, when someone walks into a room and, like, forgets why they walked in there, like, what if because there's a lot of ghost stories where, like, a ghost will just, like, walk into a room and disappear or something random like that, like, what if those are just, like, pieces of us lingering?
Okay, well, now I feel like you're specifically targeting me.
It's me too, I get it, that's why I bring it up, 'cause I understand it. It's yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Do you have
I
any
love how
idea how many times that's already happened to me today?
yeah, probably a lot. I also love how I'm like, "That was an interesting thought," and it was, like, my own thought.
Hey, listen, we're not above being intrigued by our own shower thoughts, okay?
I'm I'm the most interesting person I know. I have a running list of those shower thoughts.
Oh, thank
Mhm.
God. We're gonna need
Yeah.
them.
They're gonna be fun when they come out because 'cause they're very weird. So then there's this old lady who sits in a rocking chair, and I know how you feel about old ladies in rocking chairs as well.
I don't historically, I don't love it. I don't love it.
But she is described as pleasant, so I think she's just chilling. She's just living her best afterlife.
Has anyone considered asking her to relocate to a less creepy chair?
I wouldn't wanna ask an old lady to relocate anywhere. That is just you just leave them be, let them lie where they lie. If
Okay,
she's
okay,
content, just let her be in her rocking chair.
okay.
But
So
if you lived there, that would be something you would have to deal with.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Or if you were already scooted so far back up into your chair that there was no more scootage room, then you might be at sort of an impasse.
So, last and maybe littlest, but not least, a boy with a bl a boy with blonde hair frequents the building with scents of bay rum cologne and talcum powder accompanying him.
I'm sorry, did you say bay rum?
I said bay rum cologne, and
As
that's a
in
very specific.
as in drinking rum down on the dock of the bay? I
I don't think so. This is actual
spell
so
it.
I bay rum. It's spelled like bay rum. 2 separate words, and I
Okay.
asked Google, I was like, "Okay, I've never heard of this. What does
Uh-huh.
bay rum cologne smell like?" And this is what the AI told me.
Oh, alright.
Bay rum cologne typically smells like spicy, warm, and slightly sweet blend of herbs and spices, with prominent notes of West Indian bay leaf, clove, cinnamon, and sometimes citrus, giving off a distinctly masculine and tropical vibe, often associated with classic barber shops. It is not actually like the smell of rum itself, but rather the essence of bay leaf combined with other aromatic ingredients.
Okay, so I was gonna say it's giving Old Spice,
Mm.
and
It did say it's different from Old Spice. I
well,
did see
sure.
one thing that was like, "It is not Old Spice."
Well, no, Old Spice doesn't even Old Spice has, 87 different scents now,
Yeah.
so
I think the biggest thing is, like, the West Indian bay leaf is in, like, the clove and citrus and stuff. Also, I said
okay.
aromatic and I meant to say aromatic. Just
Aromatic,
F
okay.
aromatic. I think I said aromatic, which is not a word, but aromatic.
Allegedly.
But I thought that was a pretty good description of like the AI came up with is like what this cologne smells like.
No,
So I was
that
like, okay, thank you. Because that's a very specific smell.
it is. I feel like that description tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And now I'm deeply, deeply afraid.
And why is this little boy though wearing cologne? But he also smells like baby powder? That's what talcum powder is, right?
I mean, it's not anymore, but
Right.
I think those things used to be, yes, largely interchangeable.
And I
Um,
assume it had a scent because like if it was unscented, why would they even say it smelled like talcum powder? So
right, yeah, things that are unscented, then describing them as having a scent,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I assume like baby powder-ish smell.
yeah,
But that also kind of makes sense that there's this like random cast of characters in this one building because it's a
hmm.
museum with like a lot of different antiques. So I don't think these people came with the building. I think they came with like the museum antiques.
Oh, like they're, like, attached to the specific, like, artifacts, you mean?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cause like the old
Hmm,
lady in a rocking chair, the woman playing this organ supposedly from a brothel. The little boy, I'm not sure where he came from. It could have been anything, but I also didn't see that there was any like firemen spirits around, and there totally
and that's
could
a
be.
damn shame.
I know, right? I'm like, "Can we get some firemen up in here?" It's a
Like, an
firehouse.
can you imagine an old-timey fireman?
I just picture them with an axe
Ooh.
because 'cause I'm like, all old firemen used to carry axes, right?
I mean, presumably.
I'm just trying to, like, put the lumberjack image on there.
She's like, "Listen, we said we were nasty at the top, so."
We have another gingerbread house in town. It is called the Red Castle Inn, and it was built in 1860. And but don't look it up. I'm sending stuff to you.
But I want to.
No, you have to go to the specific site I'm sending you
Fine.
because it has the best photos. I
Oh,
promise. It
okay,
has
okay,
the
okay,
best pics. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Isn't it the cutest? So I'm like, I want you to scroll and you're gonna look at some of the pics and then
Does it
so it's
have a dollhouse of itself?
well, hold on, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So, first off, it's called the Red Castle Inn, so, like, the building is red, but it has the white, like, gingerbread trim, so it really looks like it's frosting. Like,
It
it just
really
looks like
does.
frosting trim. And it's kind of like on the roof, it's kinda, like, dripping down too, like you would
Icicles.
do. Like icicles, yeah. It's so freaking cute. Oh, and, like, just the shape of the windows. I love this place.
Mm,
So we're going through these photos. Do you see the one? So we're looking at the inside now, and the inside is, like, very interesting. The walls look pink. I'm not sure if they're red
yes.
or if they're supposed to be pink.
They're definitely like a pinkish color. That was of the time, for sure.
There's one that looks like the window is, like, below part of the
Mhm.
room. Do you see
Mhm.
that picture? It
Mhm.
looks so weird to me. I
Mhm.
don't understand. And you can't really, like, make it bigger.
I guess we just have to go to my new house.
Well, actually, it's closed, which is very sad.
I feel like you're taking me on the worst Zillow tour.
I know. I was really sad when I found out that this one was closed because it's so beautiful, and I'll talk about it in a little bit too. I'll talk
Wait,
more about it, but
is it
what?
closed because they're preparing for me to move in?
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know why they're actually
Oh,
closed.
it's so
But
pretty.
you did scroll down and you did mention what looks like a dollhouse, and I
Yeah.
have some information on this. So in this little blog post that we're looking at, they have amazing pictures. It was called Gold Country Girls.
Mhm.
They do like blogs. They do like blogs. We can cut that part out.
No, leave it. I'll do like a flagrant hair flip.
Okay. As long as you leave it all in, okay. I don't know why I said it like that, but so this is called it's a little, like, replica of the Red Castle Inn, and in this blog post, they called it a ghost house, which I thought was, like, interesting, and I was like, "What's a ghost house?" So I look it up, and it is so these are miniature wooden replicas of real historic houses, and they're made by Sheila Thompson in the '90s. And this is, like, the 1990s, not the 1890s, because I know we were
Fair.
talking about, like, the 1800s, so don't get confused.
Okay. I mean, I
So
was, but now I'm good.
so if you go to that site I sent you, it just shows, like, kind of better photos of what these things actually are. So they're really, really small,
They're
and
so cute.
yeah, they're just, like, little wooden they're kinda like 3D almost, but not quite, and they actually all of them have, like, little hidden skeleton keys, like, in the artwork. That's how you know it's, like, an original because she would hide, like, little keys in all of them. Are you seeing, like, the other ones? They're so cute.
Oh my god.
I was like, it's like a Where's Waldo type of thing.
I must have it.
And then written on the back of these was all kinds of the info about the house that it was representing or the house that it was ghosting.
This one looks like, oh god, the one we went to with Christina that was on Ghost.
Oh, the Manresa?
Yes! It
It could
looks
be.
it looks like the Manresa.
It could be. They had one of, like, the Winchester Mystery House.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's a bunch of cool ones, and I don't they're, like, on eBay still now, I don't think they're that expensive. I guess it might depend on, like, which house it is, but
So we should get one of each.
all of them. We should loo I really it makes me wanna go antiquing because I found so many cool, like, old, weird antique things just, like, doing research
They're
for the podcast, and I'm like, it makes me
so
feel like I would be, like, a better antiquer because I would go and, like, look at something, I'm like, "Oh, I know what this is."
Oh my god, I want them all. I need
I really
them.
couldn't find out why they were called ghost houses, though, and I mean, like, maybe for, like, the obvious reason because it was, like, kinda like a shadow of the home, like, it's just, like, a little
Mm.
piece of it's a little
Yes!
piece of the house's soul.
Ah,
I don't
that's
think
a
in a
little
bad way.
creepy.
I don't think it has to be in a bad way. But anyway, so that was cool. Like, why are they called ghost houses, though? I wanna know. And it took me forever to search it because I searched ghost houses, and it was, like, all these haunted houses, paranormal and I'm like, "That's not what I'm looking for." Gah.
Are you sure though?
So, yeah, so this place is now sadly closed, and I don't know what they plan to do with it. I can look it up. I didn't because I just, like, didn't have time to keep going into stuff. I'm on page 9. So
My gosh.
but I do know it's closed, and it is a historical house too. It's, like, the oldest brick home in Nevada City, so I feel like it has and it's gorgeous. Like, why would you I hope they do something with it.
She's beautiful. Maybe it's just a private residence now.
It could be. I really didn't Google it because I was like,
Yeah,
I there's
yeah.
more stuff I need to
There's
talk
so
about,
much.
but this is a paranormal podcast. I don't need to keep going into who owns homes here like I did
Oh,
last episode.
I know. Probably some other nerd egged you on about that. I don't know.
I
Whatever.
mean, I do want to know. But I did watch a YouTube story. It was like a news story about it, and it was posted on YouTube 15 years ago, but the footage looks really old. So it looks like it could be older than 15 years old, like it ran as a news story.
Ooh.
And in it, the owners are in it, and they look really old, so my assumption is they just, like, passed away and the house changed hands and
Aw.
that, like, they no longer because they ran the inn for a little while. So the owners at the time are in this news story, and he says it's a husband and wife, and so the husband says when they first got the building, they would just get, like, kinda odd feelings about it. Like, not bad, just kind of, like, weird. Like,
Okay.
"Ooh," probably like, "Ooh, like, something's watching me," or just, like, that
Yeah.
kind of feeling. And it escalated into, like, a bunch of stuff being misplaced. Like, they would leave something somewhere, and all of a sudden, it would be, like, in a different spot, which is very common for hauntings too.
Okay, I feel like that is one of the cruelest ways to haunt someone.
It's like gaslighting. I feel like
Yes!
we've talked about this.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I literally feel completely crazy. I'm like, "Is it a ghost? Am I throwing my own belongings away?"
Yeah.
Like, w
And how can you know too? Like,
exactly!
it's
It's
ha yeah,
it's
it's a rough one.
unknowable, and I
It's
hate
an
that.
unknowable thing.
Ah,
I hate unknowable things.
I hate everything that's unknowable.
And they have this super cute courtyard. It's like a little, like, garden. They call it the garden area, but looks like a little courtyard. Like, it has, like, a couple benches. And he said he was out there one night and he heard a bugle being played from inside the house, which is like I had to look up what a bugle was. It's a brass instrument similar to a t
Trumpet.
a trumpet. I was
Yes.
trying to say tunnel, and I don't know why. A brass instrument similar to a trumpet, and
That's
so he was hearing that.
loud.
Yeah, he was hearing that coming from, like, inside the house, and that's, like I think it said one of the instruments they use for, like, military stuff.
Yes. I was gonna
I'm
say.
doing trumpet things, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't.
The rusty trombone. Don't Urban Dictionary that, kids. So anyway, here's this rusty trombone playing from inside the house, and he's like, "What the fuck?" I mean, the bugle. Oh, is that like the chip that you put on your fingers? The bugles?
Yeah, bugles are yeah.
Is that why it's called, like, a bugle? I never
Is
thought about it.
why what? I
Because
don't.
of, like, the instrument? I don't know. Because it has, like, that horn shape?
Oh, maybe,
Huh.
maybe.
Shower thoughts.
Uh-huh.
But he's like, "Okay, no one inside is, like, playing a bugle, like, what is happening?" But he goes and looks anyway, and, like, nobody's there. And then he hears this story later about how the original owner's son liked to play his bugle up on the balcony.
I was gonna say, was he a bugle boy?
He was a bugle boy, and they said how did they put it in the video? I don't know how they put it a really weird way in the video. Like, he liked to
Hmm.
put on the town or something like that, and they meant, like,
Oh.
he'd like to, like, go up and, like, serenade the town with his bugle because he would do it on the balcony.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, if if you're doing it out on your balcony and it's a fucking bugle, so
Yeah. It's weird. It was weird the way they worded it, though. They're like
yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could remember the specific I don't have the YouTube video right in front of me, though, so that's neither here nor there.
It's neither here
Um
nor there.
But then he says one time he saw someone with a long gray skirt kind of like walking into another room. So he was like in a room. I think he saw it out of like the corner of his eye. He said he saw like the flash of someone's skirt like going into a different room.
Okay.
So he called out to his wife thinking it was her, and she answered from the floor above. So it was clearly she was not on the same floor as him and did not just walk into the other room.
Do they have a daughter?
No. Yeah, and
Yikes.
I think if they had had guests or whatever, they would've maybe mentioned that, but
Nah,
yeah, I think nobody was there. Nobody
maybe
was
they
there.
forgot. Maybe they forgot.
Totally, totally, totally. The
It's
small town with probably not a lot of guests in this hotel and these
oh,
2 people taking care of the inn. They'd forget
I
about a guest, right?
I'm so cold and itchy right now. I'm just
Yeah. It was kind of like a bed and breakfast, so, like, they would know, I think, if they had guests.
probably, probably.
Not like a standard, like, hotel where there's just, like, a bunch of guests and you don't know who's who. This is like a
Right.
smaller type deal, yeah. So this is apparently known as the Gray Lady, and they think she is a nanny that used to look after the original owner's 11 kids.
Jesus Christ, that's
It's a
that's
lot of kids, 7 of them were adopted. So, like, it's
oh,
still a lot of kids, but, like, at least she wasn't pushing 11 of them out her cooter, you know?
I just yeah, that's a lot. I don't like your odds, in this era of, like, surviving childbirth 11
Yeah,
times.
yeah. So, only 4? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 yeah, 4 of them were
That's still a lot. That's a
mhm.
lot. My dad is one of 8.
It's so many. It
It's
does kinda make sense though, like, why they built because this was originally built as a family home. So now it, like, kinda makes sense why they needed such a big house with so many
I
rooms that
mean
now it can be an inn,
yeah.
uh, because they
'Cause
had
they
11 kids.
they have a literal
Yeah.
gaggle of children.
Yeah, so, like, 13 people theoretically, like, plus a nanny and, like, who knows how many other, like, maids and stuff that
I
they
mean,
had, so
I would hope you have a live-in nanny with
yeah,
11
yes.
children.
So they did, but sadly, the nanny passed away very suddenly, and they think that she, like, might not have wanted to leave the kids because they were all very
Oh,
close. I know, it's really sad. They said that they all loved each other,
oh, that's so
and then
sad.
yeah, I know. So she, like, stuck around to, like, kinda look after them. But now, obviously, all the kids are gone. It's what is it? Decades later. I don't know.
Yeah,
How long is a decade? I don't know.
10
But
years.
okay, yeah, it's decades later.
Famously 10 years long.
So now she'll, like, kind of well, back before it was closed, obviously, this was when it was running as an inn, but she would kinda check on and care for the guests as if they were the children.
Oh, that's so
So
cute.
it is very sweet. So she would come and, like, in the middle of the night, like, sit on the end of your bed. She
Okay,
might
well, that's
hover over you, watching you sleep, you
no,
know?
I could
She might
no.
even gently brush a hand over your forehead as if she's, like, checking for a fever. Maybe she's just, like, "Oh, so cute,
Bitch,
little
unless
gentle
that gets rid
baby."
of wrinkles, you better get your cold, dead hands off me.
She's just trying to, be there as comfort. Sweet stuff. Sweet stuff. I knew I would get you with that.
I
I do think the intentions are sweet, but it is creepy to have someone come and sit on the end of your bed
I
or
mean,
hover over you or touch your forehead in the night.
listen, you know how I feel about unsolicited touch.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's nanny. She just her goal in life and afterlife is to care for other people. So I get it.
Even my mom will tell you, if you're gonna go in for the hug, you better say, I'm gonna hug ya."
I always go, "Are you a hugger? I'm a hugger. Are you a hugger? If you're not, you better
Yeah,
tell me right now because I'm
I
coming
know,
in."
right? And I'm like, "Hey, I'm not normally, like, a super huggy person, but when somebody's like, 'I'm a hugger, or do you want a hug?' And I'm like, 'Okay.'"
You can say no.
No, I usually get excited because 'cause I'm like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
nice of people to ask
Oh,
if you're
I
a
yeah, to
hugger,
ask,
and
yeah.
then I'm like, "That hug has a good vibe, so now I want the
Yeah,
hug."
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's kinda like a reverse psychology. One guest was staying in the nanny's old room and woke up at the witching hour, 3 AM, and looked out the window to that cute little courtyard and saw a woman in a Victorian dress. And she woke up her husband and was like, "Come look at this." But she disappeared before the husband could go witness it. But I'm like, she's since they're in her room, I was like, was she just, like, wandering around like, "Ugh, there's people in my room. I guess I'll go to the
Oh,
courtyard."
maybe, maybe.
I wonder if she'd checked on them too. That makes me wonder. No, because it was
Yeah.
her room, so maybe she wouldn't have checked on them.
Oh, yeah, maybe yeah. She's like, "You're not
Yeah.
children."
Yeah. Or maybe she was like she made her rounds checking the kids. It was 3 AM. She's like, "Oh, I gotta go, like, have a cig down at the courtyard."
I feel like
I don't
relatable.
know. So I think there is still ghost tours you can go on in this town, and they have like a self-guided audio tour for purchase. I think it was like after 2020 they started doing these self-guided ones. So I'm not sure if they do like the actual guided tours anymore. But
Hell yes.
the guy who started it all, Mike Leon, he wrote a book and it was all about like the hauntings in these two like neighboring towns and it's called Haunted Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Ooh.
And we are definitely revisiting Grass Valley at some point.
Ooh. Okay, that sounds really familiar, and I feel like from my research, and
Oh.
I can't put my finger on why, so now I'm
Oh.
really intrigued.
I don't either because I kinda skimmed and I was like, "Oh, and I'm gonna save this for, like, something different." So, yeah,
Huh.
we'll come back to that city, but there's also a ton about Nevada City that I like, a ton that I didn't even touch on. So,
Hmm.
we might have to revisit that again too. I might have to get the book, but it was like 20 bucks, and I was like, "Well, $20 for this little book right now, maybe not."
We'll see.
Maybe
Um,
someday. Well, that was all I had for Nevada City for now.
for now.
But should we do some tarot about it?
Yeah!
Okay, let's do
Do
it.
it!
Yeah, so anyway, we are using the tattoo deck because it gave us Lola vibes. Lola, the
Oh.
spider dancer, Spanish dancer, Italian spider, tarantula dancer.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh, we talked about the firehouse and it was like gingerbread style. There was that
Yes.
red castle inn that was gingerbread style.
So pretty.
Lola, okay, I'm sending you all the vibes. Hopefully you have more vibes than me because we know what happens when we get sick, but I'm
Oh,
doing my
yeah.
best. At least I'm not pulling the card.
Oh god. Okay. So how do you want me to pick this? I've just done like a real like 52 card pickup situation
Just
down
feel her, just
here.
put your hands and all over it, get in there, touch them all, feel it out.
I've chosen. Oh,
What do we get?
okay, I'm going
I
to flip
can't
it right side up.
okay, I can't see it.
Can you see it?
Oh my, is it a dancing woman? Oh, I guess she's not dancing, but she could be.
Honestly, she kind of looks like she is. It's sort of a drop it low, kind of a twerking
She's twerking.
um
She's getting those spiders out of her hoo-ha.
Oh. Oh, I don't like that for us.
She's queefing the spiders out. I think I'm in a fever dream right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. I need a sip of my medicine ball.
Oh boy. Okay, so we got the star, but in the reverse.
We got the star too? Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
this is just such Lola vibes.
I think so. So I have our keywords: happiness, hope, light at the end of the tunnel, and good fortune.
Ooh.
This lovely card often portrays a nude female figure in or beside a pool of water. In some decks, she pours water from two jugs or chalices. In the Rider Waite Smith deck, she pours the contents of one pitcher into a stream and the other onto the ground, showing the connection between the two feminine elements, water and earth. Stars
Mm.
shine in the background, sometimes in a circle or a halo like formation around her. She represents truth and purity. The jugs contain the waters of life. We see shooting stars as harbingers of good luck. We wish upon a star, for the star is a universal symbol of hope. Getting this card is like looking up at the bright, starry sky on a clear night and seeing all of the magnificence of the universe.
Aw.
This is a time of fulfillment, good fortune, creative inspiration, and spiritual growth when you receive help from unseen forces and wishes come true. Hmm.
It's starting to remind me too, I think of the first story that we talked about, the, Ooh, the National Hotel, where it was like
Oh.
last night I dreamt I was at the National Hotel, and then we got,
Oh.
like, the stars, that just reminds me of, like, starry dreamland. So we did
Alright.
talk about quite a few females in this episode. We talked about the firehouse there that's now a museum. There's a
Mhm.
piano or an organ that used to be from a brothel, and they've seen a woman playing it. There's, like, the gray lady. There's a lot of ladies in this one, so
Ladies.
interesting we got a lady on the card.
I think so. Okay, I'm gonna read you the interpretation.
'Kay.
Trust life and its processes and yourself. The reverse star can mean you're following your path in a private way instead of shining your light into the outer world. The blessings you receive may be spiritual rather than material, which I don't I don't want to interpret that as that means I'm not going to get to live in the firehouse.
I mean, I don't know, it's a museum now. Did
Okay.
we draw it in reverse?
We did, yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that
Yeah.
part. I was probably off trying to think of w what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps you feel devitalized, uninspired, or low on self esteem at this time. After you attune yourself to what your soul needs, you'll feel more energized and in harmony with who you truly are. In a reading about money, you may feel disappointed because a hoped for payment or payoff gets delayed. Even though you're trying hard, your efforts don't bear much fruit. The time may not be right yet. Don't give up.
Hmm. Well, that Red Castle Inn, was we were talking about it closed and how sad it was because it's like a historic it's like one of the only brick or the oldest brick building in that town, so it's like a pretty
Oh,
historic place, but it's closed and, like, we have no clue what
yeah.
they're gonna be doing with it, so
Yeah.
aw, I have hope still that they'll do something with it.
Like, let me move in.
Yeah.
If the reading is about your job, you may be hiding your light under a bushel. Perhaps you
Hmm.
don't realize your true abilities and thus aren't getting ahead as quickly as you could. The star reversed can also represent disillusionment, disenchantment, or lack of inspiration.
Mm.
Hmm.
Makes me think of, like, Lola's earlier life too, because she, like I didn't really go into it, but she, like, totally reinvented herself into this new thing.
That kind of makes sense then. Hmm.
Like, I feel like maybe she was feeling this way and then, like, had to totally reinvent herself to, like, get out of this feeling.
Yeah, that makes sense though. Hmm. In a reading about love, this card can mean your expectations are unrealistic. You're searching for perfection, which can never be attained. Or it
Oh,
can indicate you aren't seeing your partner or your relationship clearly.
that gives me, like, the nanny vibes. Like, she's
Yeah.
still wandering around trying to be this perfect nanny and, like, take care of all the kids, but she's not seeing it for what it is. Like, she's not here
Yeah.
anymore, so she's just stuck going through
Yeah.
those motions.
Wow.
And now, like,
Yeah.
was taking care of the guests when all the kids were long gone, and
Huh.
I don't know, my
Interesting.
brain's doing something, hopefully it makes sense. I don't know.
I think so. I think so. I know you're doing your best, and then I'm gonna totally ruin your day, as we record my next episode. So,
No.
I know. I know. I actually, was telling Chris about this case last night, and I didn't even get to the part that was, like, the sad. It was like I hadn't even told him anything.
You hadn't told him the sad yet.
No, I just said, "Oh, I'm working on my next case," and he was like, "Don't tell me."
Aw.
He was like, well, in fairness, this is kind of how dark and creepy I am. As we record this, last night, was Valentine's Day, and, I feel like he may have been valid in feeling like that would have been a little bit of a mood killer at our impromptu romantic dinner, but, you know. I
Can I see
knew
the
it.
card again?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry if you put it away. Is she, like, wrapped in a snake, or is that the water?
Uh, it looks like a ribbon,
Oh, okay.
and it does look like there's, like, yellow in her hair. Do you see
Oh,
that? It
cool, yeah.
it almost looks like a crown, but I think it's, like, one of the stars.
It's just
Just
funny
kinda
because like, that wasn't part of the story at all, the yellow in her hair, but,
No.
like, then we associated it with that Lola song and then, like, ended up pulling like, it's all connected, man.
What can I say?
Well, I feel like that totally worked out. I feel like every time we end, I'm like, "Wow, that really worked out."
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, but I really want to look up what the because like, I don't know if there's any videos of Lola doing the spider dance because it was so long ago. I don't know if
Mm.
they had, I don't know the timeline on when videos were
Yeah.
invented, so but I wanna,
Were
like,
there planes?
try to find something to show that tarantula spider dance thing, and I don't know, maybe we could reenact it someday.
I really do think that it's I feel like there were so many parallels that I was sort of, like, picking up on, um, with that movie, the uh, not Emma Watson, Emma
Mm,
Stone.
right,
I
and I can't
really
remember the
feel
scene you were talking about,
oh my god, yeah,
so you have to
no.
show me.
I know, we're gonna pull up a clip from that later, and I feel like I could be wrong. Maybe you'll be like, "I don't this doesn't match up to me," but, I don't I think so.
Alright, well, let's end this thing so we can move on to the next, thing, and I can't talk anymore.
Good thing it's, my episode after this, so you can,
Yeah.
take it a little easier.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not reading. That was a
That was rough.
yeah.
Ah,
Alright.
ah. Alright, should we do the thing?
I don't know why it just, like, reminded me of, like, Dracula, like, a count. You were just like, "Ah," like, I wanted to
Ah,
be like,
ah, ah,
"1."
ah.
Yeah, like, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
The
Thanks for
count.
fixing that. Yes, the count, thank you. I'm like, "Dracula, Nosferatu, what impression are you doing? Count Chocula? Which one is it?
Oh
There's
my
too
god.
many."
It's the count from
The
Sesame
count, thank
Street.
you. Loved it.
You know, because 'cause I'm so wholesome.
You are. I should have known. Alright.
Alright.
Have a
Have a creepy
creepy
ass
ass day.
day.
I hope we'll see you next Tuesday. Her name was Lola,
She was a showgirl.
with yellow feathers in her hair and
Hair
a dress
just cut down to
something
there.
upper